Over the last 6 weeks, my Instagram account grew from 200,000 followers to 625,000 followers. And probably by the time you're seeing this video, it's gone up even more. It all started a few weeks ago where one post reached 28 million views and with that brought in 111,000 new followers. A few weeks later, a similar post reached 23 million views and with that brought in 117,000 new followers. Which is crazy to me because on the 11th of February of 2024, I had 0 followers and 0 posts. So I want to tell you how I did it without all the hacks, all the tricks and all the other lies that Instagram gurus tell you. So let's start with some of these lies that you've been told. You've been probably told that you need fancy equipment. You've been told that you need to know your niche. You've been told that you need to be great at videography and lighting and aesthetics and all of these things in order to start. But let me tell you this. I gained my first 150,000 followers with an iPhone 12. I actually still have it today. I didn't have any niche at all and I wasn't great at all. And in order to prove that, let me quickly pop in a video. Yeah, cut. That's probably enough. So what do you need? You need 3 things. You need a starting hypothesis, you need an experimental mindset, and you need systemized output. And I will explain each one of those so that you can make the most of your time and your effort into your Instagram. So let's start with the first thing, a starting hypothesis. And this is nothing more than a guess of who will like your content, with who it will resonate, and why that's the case. So think, what are your interests? What do you like to speak about on camera? What kind of account in a dream scenario would you wish you are or you could be? Because let me tell you this, we overthink the beginning, but you'll re-find yourself along the way. You're allowed to re-pivot after 50 posts, after 100 posts. So just spend maximum 1 hour with this, with ChatGPT, find your favorite creators, create your own avatar, and then just go from there, but allow yourself to re-pivot. That's all you need for step 1. Because what I did, for example, I think it's useful to see what I actually did, and it was this. These were my first 8 posts. So I wanted to make people think clearer and think deeper so that they would avoid regrets and that they would live a life that's more up to them. So I thought, how can I do it? I share one of my notes that I create in my iPhone. I share a piece of a podcast that resonates. I share 2 exercises, 2 conversational questions, and 2 introspective questions. And you can see them here on the screen. These are the 8 posts. And in the beginning, none of them went viral. Now they have like 4,000 to 7,000 views, but in the beginning, trust me, they had 0 to 200. But then how you see it is where the second point comes in. It's your experimental mindset. These weren't just 8 posts, these were 8 experiments, as you can see on the screen. So you put out these little experiments in the world and then you see what works and you get your lab results. So in red were the posts that didn't perform at all and you take them out of the next week's planning. The green ones were the ones that did the best and that performed the best, so you double them or you double down on the ideas that you shared there and you share more of them. While the yellow ones, you're a little bit inconclusive, so you'll just keep them along for another batch that you create. I know this is a bit abstract, but let me show you how it actually worked for my content in the beginning. So these were the next 8 posts that I placed, and you can look all of this back on my account because trust me, this is literally what I did. So I started introducing my own face in the videos, and you see 2.1 million views and 935,000 views. So these were green experiments, things that I'm going to do more of. You see the podcast episode, it grew, it doubled. So of course it wasn't a knocking it out of the park, but it showed enough value to double down on it, or at least to keep it in the batch creation for another period. Then you also see here these questions with 8,000 views and here with 9,000 views. So I tried them for two batch creations now and they failed. So I took them out and doubled down on doing the questions with my own face. So from there we get this. And as you can see, 10 million, 1.6 million, 90,000. And basically what you're getting data. You're getting data on what works. And the point is, you have a really short feedback loop. And that's in 2 ways. So you get to know by doing this and by putting out these experiments in the world, you get to know what you like to make. So that's the first piece of feedback. And then you also get to know what people like, what people resonate with by looking at the likes, looking at the views, and looking at the comments. So you get it? You need to get started to get more information. You need to have this experimental mindset. And if you keep, how do I say it? If you keep applying this over time, it will work out. So, third point, your systemized output. How will you allow for consistency? And you need to do three things. You need to make it sustainable, you need to make it fun, and you need to make it effortless. So let me discuss each of those pretty quickly. So first one, make it sustainable. All these gurus, all these Instagram guys and girls, they tell you, you need to post 7 times a week. You need to post 3 times per day. You need to post on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, on whatever. But could you do this forever, or would you burn yourself out? Because always when I go for this high of a level of output, I burn myself out, I give up, and I don't reach anything. So how to overcome this is asking the question, what could you do forever? If that's 2 posts per week, if you could do this in a sustainable way forever, then start with 2 posts per week. You can always do more, but you can never do less. So set yourself a minimum to make it sustainable. Make it fun. What do you enjoy making? Do that. Because if you start making things solely for the likes and you don't enjoy it at all, you're just creating another job for yourself that you don't like. So create things that you enjoy. And then second of all, how much of your time do you want to create? For example, I don't want to create 24/7. I only want to do this about 25% of my time. So I need to batch create it in such a way that I have 75% of my time for myself, so that when I spend the 25%, it's fun again. Which brings me to the third point, make it effortless. Systemize, systemize, systemize. I see so many of my friends, even people who have followings of above 200,000, that still type their captions on their phone, that still make 1 post at a time every day and repeat the loop of, I need to have an ID, I need to film, I need to edit, I need to schedule. You can batch create it and systemize it so much faster and do it in a such more effortless way. And I'm going to show you how. So this is exactly what I do right now, like literally exactly what I do. So I play 6 posts per week. That's the thing that I feel I could do forever. Of those, 2 are paper posts, 2 are design posts, so graphical design, and 2 are videos or pictures, either in a reel or in a carousel. So what I do, I said I want to have 25% of my time free, right? So I batch create 4 weeks of content in 1 week. So I need to do 24 posts now. 8 paper posts, as you can see here, 8 design posts, and 8 video or picture posts. From those, from the 8 paper posts, I know that I make 4 reminders that make you think deeply and 4 carousels, which transfer a main ID. Of the design post, I create 4 long-form stories, which I then repurpose also on LinkedIn. And then I create 4 carousels with questions, with quotes, with sentences that can make you think clearer. And then of the 8 videos / pictures, I do 4 questions on the wall, where I put a paper up on the wall that makes you think. And I make 4 really like in-depth videos with a lot of intensive editing for personal branding purposes. So I know every month these are my deliverables. And I know exactly what the formats are, so I don't have to rethink this every month. And then within those formats, I know which type, like which ways of value I can transfer. So do I ask a question or do I give a main ID? Like I already have all of this scheduled out and I just need to fill in the gaps every single month. So how does that look? A content week looks like this. On day 1, so that's typically a Monday, I ideate. On day 2, a Tuesday, I script. On day 3, I film and I start designing. On day 4, I finish my designs and I edit the videos. And on day 5, I schedule every single thing. And then for 3 weeks, let me also show you that, I capture all my new ideas. So I read books, I listen to podcasts, I speak with interesting people, I experience life, and I have a little note tab in my notes on my phone. And just every idea that I get, I write it down so that when it's time to ideate and script the next month, I'm completely ready to go. I think we can get rid of the white screen here. I think the thing that matters is all of these Instagram gurus, they try to show you that you need the most fancy equipment, that you need to know your customer avatar, that you need to know your niche, that you need to know all of these things before you can even start? Well, the main message is just start, make it sustainable, keep experimenting, keep learning. And then over time, I mean, the 11th of February 2024, it's not even 1.5 years ago that I started posting with nothing. And my life has completely changed just from showing up, just from systemizing it. And you can do the exact same thing. Of course, it can be helpful to get help and to get someone who is experienced on to help you a bit, but trust me, the main point is to just get started. And I really believe that the same system we discussed for Instagram also applies to YouTube, LinkedIn, or any other endeavor in life. Be willing to learn, be willing to improve, and just keep the work going. And by starting to move, you'll eventually get up somewhere. So yes, that's what I wanted to say. Hope it was helpful. Ciao, ciao.